Greetings, greetings. Let me know if you can hear me. Technical difficulties, but I don't let that stop me, that's for sure. Oh, what time is it? Oh yeah, welcome, welcome. Good day. So look, first off, I want to say, if you haven't already, go check out my YouTube. I just posted a new video about the intuition versus ego and how you can tell the difference. Alright, let me know if the audio is coming through. Tell me in the chat real quick if you can hear me. I gotta use my headphones. What's up, Kenya? What's up, Kelvin? Alchemy Gold, peace, peace. January Moonlight, peace. STFU JPEG, peace, peace. So yeah, basically, I wanted to, just let you know. I just posted a video on YouTube about the intuition versus the ego, so go check that out. But basically, it's damn near difficult, if not impossible, to know the voice of intuition if you don't even know the difference between the voice of the flesh, of the body in the first place, right? And the thing about ego and the body is that it's all dependent on memory, right? This thing that we call the demiurge that everybody's so afraid of is the memory of the body and the judgments of the mind. So, for example, ever since you were a baby, everything that you did that hurt you and everything you did that felt good, your body remembers that, and the mind puts that in categories. Now, when I say the mind, that's extremely vague. So the specific aspect of the mind that we call ego, that some scary people call the demiurge, that the ancient Vedics, who first figured this stuff out in full detail, they called it the ahamkara, right? They designated a specific aspect of the mind. So this stuff isn't a mystery, and this stuff isn't anything that I have to guess about or anything I have to make up or anything that I have to paint to sound cool, because this is what it is. Anyone who's ever talked about the mind got it from the Vedic texts. So why not we start there? There's an aspect of the mind that's called ahamkara. We call that ego. And essentially, this thing is what our whole experience of humanity is built upon. And when I say humanity, I mean the fact that we think that we are a hairless monkey who has an opinion and who's different and individual from the rest of nature, right? Who has this superiority complex, who has the trauma, who has all these afflictions that give us this experience. This all can be attributed to the aspect of mind called ahamkara, ego, right? Now, this isn't the reality. This is the false prophet. This is the false human. This is the thing that dies. This is the thing that dies every day. And this is the thing that's terrified of its death because it knows it's going to die. That's the crazy thing. The whole reason it does all this is because it knows that it's going to perish. It knows its time is temporary. In the Bible, it says that Satan knows that his time is short. So he scurries to and fro looking who he can devour. It's talking about the ego. It's talking about the ahamkara, right? It's talking about the aspect of mind that thinks that it is alive, when in fact it's just an algorithm. Literally, it's just a program. Ego is just a program. Just like an app that you run on the phone. Just like Instagram, right? Instagram is an app with pretty colors, and it gives us the ability to run video, right? But it's not the iPhone. Hell, none of this is real anyways. These are all just ones and zeros presented to us in a pretty fashion. But essentially, it's all based on memory. Its whole existence is based on memories that we've gathered since we were children, since we were babies. Now, the truth is there's another voice. There's another aspect of our being that is not ego. There's another aspect of our being that existed before ego, before our personal ego came into existence, right? And this is what we call the spirit. The Christians call it the Holy Spirit, right? The Vedics call this the Buddhi. When you look at the diagram of the chakras, this is the crown chakra, right? This is the voice that's coming from on high. If you notice closely on all of the correct diagrams, the crown chakra is not attached to the body. It's the only chakra that's not attached to the body, because it's your connection between your objective experience and your subjective experience. If you listen to Bobby Hemmett, then you know that he talked about universe A and universe B, right? One of those universes is the manifest dimension. One is the unmanifest dimension. And like I mentioned, the Vedics had this all figured out in the beginning of recorded history. And they had names for all this stuff, right? Avyakta and Vyakta, the manifest dimension and the unmanifest dimension. Now, we talk about how everything is vibration and frequency, and this is true, right? Since we just heard that a few years ago, we think it's a new concept. But again, this has been written down in the very first pages where anything was ever written. And essentially, vibration is all that exists in the unmanifest dimension, right? It has a name. It's called nada, right? Nada. It's funny how we say nada. That means nothing, right? Nada, which would also equate to the triple blackness of space. It's the unmanifest dimension. But it is a thing that exists on both universe A and universe B, both the subjective universe and the objective universe. Now, in the subjective universe, it is a prototype. It is an archetype. It is a mold. It is a context, right? It is undefiled. It is the bornless one. Those of you who are, the real deal occultists who study Western occultism, you know the ritual of the bornless one. I invoke thee, the bornless one. We're talking about the same thing here. We're talking about the eternal vibration known as nada. Now, in the manifest dimension, this vibration begins to take form, right? This whole occult science is a dance between force and form. If you study Kabbalah, you know that's the difference between the two sides of the tree of life. One side is for force, one side is for form. And they bounce back and forth, left-hand path, right-hand path, one for force, one for form. Then you got the middle pillar, which is where they harmonize. And if you notice, the middle pillar is the only way to get to heaven. It's the only way to get to Kether. Because the middle pillar, again, we got to relate everything back to the Vedics. If it doesn't check out with the Vedic, it don't exist. Even Bobby Hemmett told you that. If it ain't in the ancient text, it don't exist. So the middle pillar lines up with the Sattvic path, which is the only path to reach the Most High. Not the left-hand path, not the right-hand path. The Sattvic path, because it is harmony and it is balance of both sides. Right? It's harmony and it's balance. One side deals more with cultivating an aggressive and highly charged and highly active upward movement, and the other is the complete opposite. It's the destructive inertia, decay, and death. Neither of those get you to liberation, because both of those exist solely within the objective realm. They exist solely within the concrete manifest dimension. Now, the Sattvic path is the link between the manifest and the unmanifest, right? This is why the middle path is the only way to go up there. I didn't say it. Look at the diagram for yourself on the Tree of Life. It is the only path that touches Kether, right? And like I said, it's because it harmonizes both the left and the right pillar. It's not about what I like or what I think is cool or what has the coolest looking demons or whatever. It's not about any of that stuff, because all that's ego. All that's ahamkara, and all that is temporary. It's temporary, and it doesn't exist because it's based on our individual experience. If I determine truth based on what my body and my mind likes, that's illusion. Because the body will perish and go back to where it came from. The archetype, the mold which it was crafted upon. It's like, you guys play video games like Fortnite and all the other games. It doesn't matter what character you pick, they're all based on an archetype. Now, the archetype stays the same. If you have ever dealt with 3D modeling or computer graphics or any of that stuff, you'll notice that the archetype stays the same. But you can change the skin. You can put new colors on it. You can put new shapes on the arms, new outfits, and this, that, and the third. But the archetype stays the same. The archetype is untouched, right? Because it's the mold that we base the rest of the program on. That's the unmanifest dimension. That's the unmanifest dimension. There is a mold of you. This physical form is not you. This is just the temporary skin or the temporary manifestation of the real you. So this temporary form will perish because it is existing within the realm of time. Anything that exists within the realm of time must undergo birth and death. It has to. That's the rules of this game. Just like gravity. That's the rules of this game. But this isn't you. This is not you. Now this, to operate within this realm, you have this ego that we've been talking about, this ahamkara, right? And this is an application. It is an algorithm, like I just said. And it allows you to operate with this body and with this flesh and with this mind so that you can survive, you know? So you don't walk out in traffic and get run over. So you don't, you know, try to fist fight a bear, right? It gives you common sense so that you can survive. Its job is to survive. That's its function. But like I just mentioned, there's an aspect, the real you is unmanifest. You never manifest it, right? Now, when I talk about intuition versus ego, that unmanifest you, that's the voice of intuition. That unmanifest you, that's the intuition. Now, it doesn't just randomly speak to you like, hey, it's intuition. Don't go out with that girl because, you know, she's going to rob you when you go to sleep. That's not intuition. Not exactly, right? Intuition, it doesn't speak in the terms of ego. Ego speaks in the terms of here and now, time and space and objectivity. The higher self, the spirit, intuition, it is beyond time and space. It's just like a person reading a book. You, your life, your body, your ego, that's the book, that's the story, right? The spirit, the higher self, the intuition, that's the person reading the book, right? So it already knows what's going to happen. It already knows the characters. It knows that it's a story. It knows that it's an illusion. It knows that you're not really there. Intuition knows all that. So when somebody says like, oh, my intuition told me that, you know, whatever, more than likely it was just your ego, not intuition. Intuition speaks truth regardless of how you feel. Intuition speaks truth regardless of what's going on right now. Intuition speaks truth regardless of your memory. Because like I said in the beginning of this thing, ego is founded upon memory. The memories of your body, the memories of your thoughts, the memories of your experiences, all those accumulated day by day, and even right now, up to this very moment where you stand or sit with your phone in your hand and you breathe. All these are memories that are being built with your ego. Intuition isn't based on that. Intuition is based on a realm that has never existed. The unmanifest. I know it sounds kooky, weird, crazy, strange, but that's what's going on here. And every religion, if you really read, every spiritual system that has a path to enlightenment is going to be talking about this. This is the reality, right? You talk about the Gnostics, you talk about the Comedians, or whatever y'all call it, the Egyptians, damn. Whatever you want to call this stuff, it's all pointing to the same information because this is the only truth. Not because I declare it so, but because these are the earliest texts, the earliest writings, the earliest knowledge that was recorded. Right? I don't go off of none of the new stuff that somebody just came up with and pulled out of their ass. I could do that. That all comes out of ego. Right? But what comes comedians. But what comes out of the original people, I'm talking about the first ones. Right? Not somebody that looks pretty in a picture, but the people who have the documents to back it up in full. Not missing pieces and shit chipped off and lost and hidden. No. The truth is there. It's eternal because it comes from a place beyond time and space. It comes from a place beyond time and space. And see what it is? It's not like some alien ghost dude whispering in your ear. You know, it's not some ghost whispering to me saying, oh, Travis, tell them about the Ahamkara. No. It's not like that. There is an unmanifest dimension where all truth resides, right? Some of y'all have called it the Akashic Records, right? What do you think of when you say the Akashic Records? You think of this great big hallway with all these mystical books with all the information that has ever existed. Well, that's not too far from the truth. The unmanifest dimension, like I said in the beginning of this thing, right? Like I said in the very beginning, there is eternal vibration that has never manifested. And within that vibration is contained all the data that can be perceived, all the data. That's the Akashic Records, right? And in that space, well, it's not a place, it's not a space, it's a state. It's a state of whatever. The less that we label it, the more specific we are. So this Akashic Records, this unmanifest dimension, it's a state. And in this place is all the data that can ever be. Now what happens is it contains all the prototypes and archetypes of existence. And from time to time, those prototypes and archetypes, they manifest in the physical realm. Like I said in my live that just happened an hour ago on my YouTube. Go check it out, my YouTube. I just got a new video posted. But like I said there, you can think of it like these phones, right? Well, they got the archetype for the iPhone. Somewhere on the computer screen, it's unmanifest. It's the blueprint, right? That's the unmanifest. Now the manifest is when they take it to the factory and they have a conveyor belt that puts all these phones together based off the blueprint, right? Now all these phones that are printed based off the blueprint, all these phones that are pumped out, they don't change the archetype. They don't change the blueprint. The blueprint remains the same. So they can print out 1 million phones, but that blueprint remains the same. So it doesn't matter if you drop your phone, if you drop it in the toilet and you get turds all over it, if you got a different phone case than I do, it doesn't matter, because that doesn't affect the archetype. So the same thing is with the unmanifest dimension compared to the manifest dimension. The manifest dimension is all of this that we see, hear, taste, touch, and feel, and it is going through time and space. But none of this changes the unmanifest realm, right? The unmanifest realm contains all the data from beginning to end. The unmanifest realm contains all the data. It knows the story. It's just like a person reading the book. It already knows that it's just a story, and it knows what's going to happen. So when you get the voice of intuition, you're getting a voice that isn't within the story. It's not going to be a voice within the story. It's going to be a voice beyond the story. So that's how you can tell the difference between intuition and ego. Ego is based on your memories, your false self, based off your memories in time. The intuition is not based on that. The intuition is coming from another space. All right? So that was, just a high level breakdown of intuition versus ego. And like I said, this isn't new. This isn't anything I'm making up. I'm not special and, I've channeled it from the divine ethers. Anybody that says that shit, it's entertainment. Cool. But what I'm telling you is what the first people on planet Earth who have ever written anything have said. I'm only echoing what's there, right? And this is shit that you can verify yourself, not just from reading a book, but by sitting your ass down and meditating, going into this unmanifest realm and seeing for yourself, right? This is why I'm doing this, reminding you that you can do it. It ain't just me. I'm not special, right? I'm gorgeous, but I'm not special. I'm not different than you. Anybody can do it, but you got to want it, right? You got to want it. I know some of y'all want to complain about the government and these people doing this, that, and the third, and the demiurge, but me and the people that are on this stream, we want to realize ultimate reality. And to do that, you got to sit down and experience it. So I'm going to go ahead and get off the stream. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. Thank you for checking out my content. Thank you for liking my stuff and sharing my stuff. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm going to go. Have a great day. Tomorrow's my birthday. Wish me happy birthday. Send me $5 on Cash App. Go check out my YouTube. All right? I'm going to go. Peace. How do you stop this thing? What do you press to stop this? Oh, X. Got it. Oh yeah, you can find my Cash App on my YouTube. Thanks. But it's LVX777. Everything I do is LVX777. Alright, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I am out.